High on Tuesday, 85 to 91. Then we'll have a thunderstorm around Wednesday morning. Otherwise, partly sunny skies and a high of 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Molly Holdren.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Join Gary and Don Crawford of Pinnacle Retirement Advisors for Retirement with Pinnacle, Saturday mornings at 9 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retirement with Pinnacle with Gary and Don Crawford, Saturday mornings at 9. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
This hour of Ocala Talks is brought to you in part by Blockers Furniture. Go see all their specials at blockersfurniture.com.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome to hour number 2 of Ocala Talks on a Monday. It is May 2nd. It's the first Monday of the month, which means Police Chief Mike Balkin joins us. Chief Balkin, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tom. Good to see you, as always.
I got a lot to cover. I only see you once a month, so I got a lot to cover. Let's start with two 14-year-olds have been charged as adults in a robbery that took place at a store over off, I believe it was Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. And the adult that actually pulled the trigger has also been charged second-degree murder. That was they were stealing a backpack of drugs or something. I don't know. I know you can't talk about ongoing investigations probably, but if I made the inference, backpack full of something, and were the 14-year-olds really just a distraction in this situation? I mean, even if they were, they're still culpable as murderers.
Yeah, it's hard to without them telling us, which they didn't. It's really hard to understand the intent. What the initial intent was of that crime, and I don't know that we'll ever really get down to the real reason why that whole incident unfolded. But you said it right. Everybody involved is culpable, has some ownership, and it's one of the, we've talked about this before. It's one of the most frustrating things we deal with is this violent juvenile crime, and it's I don't see it going away, unfortunately, anytime soon.
And the state attorney this time did what I think was warranted. A person lost their lives in the commission of a robbery. The two juveniles were part of the threesome that created the situation, the robbery and everything. And in that case, you make adult decisions and do an adult crime. You have to face it like an adult.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see any kid charged as an adult, but I think this is one of those instances where it's appropriate, and the state attorney's office did the right thing. So, you got a young man that lost his life, and then potentially these others that'll lose at least a great deal of their lives behind bars. 4
families destroyed.
Exactly,
and that's how I look at it. 4 families.
That's exactly.
This isn't just one guy lost his life. 3 others are facing long 25 years or more in prison.
Mm-hmm.
There's moms and aunts and brothers and sisters all involved that lose brothers, and they lose part of their family.
It fractures the whole family. You're right, and it's almost a cycle that we see, right, where you got these families that are torn apart through violence. Somebody dies, somebody gets shot. Their life, their health of the rest of their life has changed forever. And then ultimately you got somebody that's got to pay the price, and it fractures families and kind of completes that cycle that we see.
Now, was your office the arresting officers last week in the arrest for shots being fired with a rifle in the car and all of the 2 kids who were already out on bail for killing one of their friends in they say it was a shooting a vest gone wrong and everything. I mean, when are we, and I know that, so it was your department that arrested these 2 kids from Bellevue.
For the drive-by shooting.
For the drive-by shooting.
Yes, sir.
Here are 2 kids that had just got out of jail for killing one of their friends in a you put the vest on and I'll shoot you, I'll put the vest on, you shoot me incident.
Right.
If that's what it plays out to be. Bellevue's still investigating that. The sheriff's department's looking into it and everything.
Yes, sir.
And then they get arrested for a drive-by shooting, shots fired. They're ripping out of 4th Street in a Mercedes and everything. and I know that you don't make legislative law. I know that you just enforce it. When are we going to start holding parents culpable?
I say that all the time. I'd love to see some legislation come out that, that puts some onus on the parents. I think that's where we falter. But but the bottom line is, and you've heard me talk before, Tom. I think there's all kinds of legislative issues that deal with criminal justice that need to be fixed. And quite frankly, I think if the average citizen voter knew what really went on and what the outcomes were, a lot of the arrests that we make, they'd be outraged.
Now, take your police badge off for a second. Just be Mike Balkin, the parent.
Sure.
If you had the horrible moment of taking a call, your sons are being arrested for I guess it was manslaughter, right, because they shot their friend in a stupid situation. If it comes out that way, totally. You letting those kids out of your sight until this is played out?
No, of course not. And the bad thing is, this doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Right. This is and I won't speak to that case just because.
No, just in general.
In general, what we see is a lot of poor parenting, irresponsible parenting that causes or allows kids to kind of run amok without any consequences for their actions, and ultimately, a lot of times we see them progress through their criminal career, right? Starting at little minor offenses that they're not held accountable for through the system or at home, obviously, and they just progress, and ultimately that's what you have. You have potentially an accidental shooting, followed up by an intentional drive-by. That's
in a Mercedes.
Well, good point. My kids don't drive Mercedes either. So.
But when I read that news story and I got the particular thing, I go, so some entitled kids got angry at something gone wrong and went and decided to take retribution by showing they were street hard and shooting up something, because that's the only thing I could figure these kids in that Mercedes were doing over in that neighborhood that late at night, where we're entitled and you've wronged us, and we're going to show you we're street just like you.
Yeah, we've and I can't, like you said before, I can't
it's
talk
an
about
ongoing
all of it,
investigation,
but I mean, we've got a good indication of why that incident unfolded like it did and what caused it. But I don't think you're far off.
Just, I know when I was a kid that age, if I'd have done something like that, we rode around with guns in our back windows and everything, and we never once thought about using them in that manner, because my dad would have put that gun somewhere where the sun didn't reach, and he may have pulled the trigger himself.
There's an old joke I could say right now that would be inappropriate, but no, you're right. This goes back again to just ineffective or irresponsible parenting, or just a lack of parenting altogether, I believe. And and the criminal justice system, the juvenile justice system, I think is. It's severely.
It's a revolving door, Mike. It really is.
It's a catch and release. I hate to say it, but that's what we do with these kids. It's hard to get one of these kids held. And of course, and when you charge them as adults, that.
Well, the system wants to think, because they're kids, that there's a chance they can be rehabilitated.
Sure.
And you don't want to take that chance away from them. And I understand that the first time.
Right.
But let me tell you something. They tried to rehabilitate me. And my trials and tribulations are well documented. They sent me to the military boot camp, to try to rehabilitate me. Mm-hmm. I laughed that off. I'm like, I'm about to go play college football somewhere. I'm 18. Right. I'm in better shape than your correctional officers that are running this boot camp. What do I care that you're making me do PT for an hour and a half a day, and I got to march around, and I know that it's 89 days in a wake up, that you're only giving me 90-day slap on the hand. What the hell is that going to convince me that I'm doing wrong? No. It wasn't until I had my freedom taken away for real.
No, I think there's a time and a place for programs like that, and I get it.
And people that qualify for it, but not everybody qualifies.
Exactly. A couple things on that. I just got a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office. We work closely with them, with our task force officers, and they just got, I think it was an indictment on a case that our patrol officers initiated. I'm sorry, not an indictment, but just sentenced a gentleman who had 20 prior felony convictions. I mean, that's got to tell you something about our system, that we're placing federal charges on a guy that is out on the street after having not felony arrest, 20 prior felony convictions.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And
I thought I was a bad criminal when I was in my 20s with 3.
Right. And on another note, I know Mayor Gwynn and I talked. He had gone up to one of the juvenile camps north of town just a couple months ago and talked with some of the inmates, the juvenile inmates up there. And, one thing that they told him that resonated with me was, my God, we wish we would have had some structure and some consequences in our lives before we got to this point.
100%.
Right. It's just like the 4 or 5 year old kid in your house that you're raising. There's got to be structure, and I think we lack that in our justice system.
I need to get with the mayor and find out where these camps are. I'll go up and talk to them. I'll give them I walked a mile in your shoe discussion.
I'll be out talking to some of the kids at CERMI at Silver River Marine Institute here. I think either this week or next, trying to explain to them, look, you're not the only ones that come from humble backgrounds.
No.
I'll tell my story, and just let them know that where you're at now doesn't define who you're going to become, and try to give them some encouragement.
Believe me, if I'd have taken advantage of the 90-day boot camp I was in, I'd have probably ended up a little better off in life. But I didn't. It's one of those situations where, as a kid, if you don't have a lot of structure, I was a divorced parents. Mom and dad used us as, against each other to try to show they were the better parents. So,
Right.
I'm sure everybody's got a story, but to just ride around and do drive-bys, that somewhere the parent has to be culpable. And eventually the legislature stop passing gun legislation, pass parenting legislation. How about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I would love to be able to follow up and place charges on some of these parents that just either turned a blind eye or just intentionally allow this type of activity to happen, because it's dangerous. People are getting killed.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back more with Police Chief Mike Balkin after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection, You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain. Now there's an exciting new treatment using natural biologics, regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints. Hey folks, it's Tom Schmitz, and I'm talking about QC Kinetics, now open here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical regeneration, highly concentrated natural biologics that can give you lasting relief. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulder, hips, and you're tired of steroids, tired of pain meds, and talk of major surgery, this is the treatment you've been hoping for. Call the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. Learn about how natural biologics can be used to get you moving again pain-free. Listen, don't let them keep giving you steroids. Don't let them tell you your surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics. Do it now and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. They have offices now in Ocala and the Villages. Call 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Monday, Chief of Police Mike Balkin in the building with us. I got a email, Chief Balkin, from somebody over the weekend that says, ask the chief, once school gets out, because school is started, it's close to getting out. Once school gets out, why is it every year that the speed limits around the schools start to get ignored by OPD? A lady named Sally submitted that and says that the OPD is very good at making sure that the roadways around the schools are safe when school's in, but after school gets out, and she owns a home right across there, she goes, it's almost like those areas are forgotten.
Yeah, it's a great question. We take the safety of our school-age children very, very serious. When the school year starts, everybody in the police department is working a school zone. You'll see the police chief out there trying to slow cars down and get them situated. The honest answer, though, to her question is quite frankly this: as of late, at least the last few years, staffing levels really prevent us from conducting a lot of the traffic enforcement that we really need to be doing around town with the
the motorcycle group has even went away.
Well, and I hate to even announce that, but the bottom line is, our staffing levels were so low, through COVID and all that. We kind of had an exodus because of the, I think with like every other agency in the country, with the whole defund the police, anti-police movement that we saw over the last couple of years. You had quite a few cops in the country that just said, you know what, there's better things out there to do, and that I'll be appreciated for. But anyway, back to the question. The bottom line is, we had to fold our traffic unit, all but one officer, back into our patrol bureau just to answer 911 emergency calls. So she's got a good point. I get traffic complaints weekly, emails, phone calls, text messages from people I know begging for some relief. But here's what I can say. The goal through this budget process right now is to reconstitute that traffic unit with the motor officers, and I'm hoping to get some support through the city council to make that happen, and hopefully be able to deal with some of those issues. But quite frankly, we have a tremendous amount of crashes out on State Road 200, on State Road 40, on the big major highways, that it takes up a tremendous amount of resources, and it pulls from those neighborhoods. But I I feel her pain. I really do. I wish we had more people to work on those neighborhood issues.
And sometimes people forget, once school's out, it's not a 20-mile-per-hour zone anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
it goes back to 35 unless posted otherwise.
Exactly. Right. And she doesn't want to hear that. I get it. I'm sure they're doing way above 35. And
I'm sure.
I'm sure that's her complaint. But that's part of the issue is, when we have those resources allocated through SROs, our school resource officers, to focus on that area, we can do that. But typically during the summer, those resources are reallocated to deal with other issues.
I'm amazed at how many people, even when you put stuff in place to slow people down, I've seen cars catch air on 8th Street, and those speed humps are not the small, they're speed tables. They're called speed tables for a reason.
Right.
And I've seen some of these little 4-cylinder jet pack cars or whatever, that from the Fast and the Furious. And I'm like, do you not realize that there's a speed table coming up and they don't even care?
Yeah, what people really don't get is, I think they think, we're running through a neighborhood. The worst that's going to happen is the cop's going to stop me. I'm going to get a speeding ticket. But they don't realize the worst that can happen is that you can run some kid over, kill him, and be charged with vehicular homicide.
Right.
And that's, an education issue that we need to deal with more directly. But yeah, it's difficult we've got a big city with a lot of people moving around. The CEP guesstimates that we police about 250,000 people Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And those people, it causes traffic congestion. It causes major issues out on a roadway. And I could probably double the size of our force and still not be able to deal with all those complaints that come in.
Well, I just know that you do diligently try to answer and address all the things that a resident has, and she wrote in with that email, and I said, well, I'll ask the chief.
She's got a great question, and she's got a right to answer it, and she should be demanding more police services. And we're going to try to. You have to give me that location if it's in the email. I'll try to help her out a little bit.
I will. I'll give you the location off the air.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk for a minute about I got another email that somebody goes, I don't know what's the right thing to do when I'm in the middle of an intersection as the light changes to yellow. Am I supposed to back up or am I supposed to go?
You're supposed to go. The yellow is hey, caution, it's about to turn red. But if you've already overtaken the intersection, you've got a responsibility now to clear the intersection.
And how does somebody know what dictates being in the intersection?
Well, once the front of your car has passed that white stop bar at the intersection, you have overtaken that intersection, and then oncoming cars are supposed to yield to you. Even if the light turns red, you've already entered the intersection. The cross traffic really should not, by law, should not begin to enter the intersection until once you've cleared it. But backing up is never a good idea.
Oh. And finally, the third thing we had today from an email is, what am I supposed to do if I'm first at a red light, there's traffic coming through the red light, and an emergency vehicle's approaching me from behind? It's not like I can pull into a busy intersection.
Yeah, obviously the law says you're supposed to pull over to the nearest curb. But it's a great question because most of our intersections are jammed up 3 cars wide. Ideally, what we prefer people to do is just stay stopped, and the officers are going to make their way around into the oncoming lanes once it's clear to go around you. We don't expect you to pull out without any lights and get yourself in a T-bone crash to make way for us.
Because I've seen people, especially one of the major places is right there at 200 and Pine and 200,
right,
Pine
right.
10th, because ambulances are going to the hospital.
Sure.
Right near there.
Right.
And I've seen people literally in the turn lanes and everything veer out into oncoming traffic. And I'm like, folks, if you just stop, the ambulance or the cop and everything, they're going, because they have lights and all, they'll go around you.
Yeah, we prefer everybody just stop. It makes it easier for us to identify, where the oncoming traffic is, where we need to be. When people start, trying to shimmy out of the way, when there's nowhere, don't get me wrong, you should always yield to an emergency vehicle. I don't
right.
See,
and if there's a place to go safely, you're supposed to get out of the way.
Pull out of the way. But if you're at an intersection 3 deep, there's nowhere to go. Ideally, stay stopped. We'll make our way around you. The ambulances, the fire trucks, everybody. We this is what we do every day. Yeah.
We need to keep you for about 5 minutes after the break.
Sure.
We got to take a break because I want to ask you about the pink elephant in the room in every police department in the state of Florida right now.
Okay.
We'll do that next. We're talking with Police Chief Mike Balkin, the Ocala Police Chief, as we do every first Monday of the month. on Ocala Talks. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Russia says it's pulling out of the International Space Station over sanctions meant to punish the country for Russia's violent invasion. State media outlet TASS made the announcement. The decision has been taken already, and we're not obligated to talk about it publicly. That's a quote from General Director Dmitry Rogozin, the head of Russia's space agency, Roscosmos. A congressional group led by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi went to Ukraine over the weekend to talk unity.
We are proud to convey to him a message of unity from the Congress of the United States, a message of appreciation from the American people for his leadership, and admiration to the people of Ukraine for their courage.
It should be noted the congressional group delivering a message of unity was a partisan group of Democrats. Republicans were not on the trip. Thanks for listening. It's well appreciated. USA Radio News.
Wendy Bell here for my friends at Swiss America. Did you know the U.S. Constitution authorizes only two forms of legitimate money, gold and silver? That's right. But our government abandoned gold and silver a half-century ago. Meanwhile, gold and silver prices have rocketed in recent years due to growing economic uncertainty. So, to help my listeners, Swiss America has a very special offer today. Silver Walking Liberty $half at the amazingly low price of $12.50 each, delivered. You heard me right, $12.50. Call now to reserve your silver coins at 800-630-1490. That's 800-630-1490. Silver Walking Liberty $half for just $12.50 each, delivered while supplies last. Put a silver lining in your financial portfolio now by calling 800-630-1490. 800-630-1490.
We wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
Hey, you want to do something really different for Mom this Mother's Day? Make it a green and gorgeous blooming gift from Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Bob's ready with a super nice selection of great Mother's Day buys, like Easy Care Double Red and Double Yellow Knockout Roses, regularly selling for $22.99, marked down to just $14.99 for Mother's Day. Or give her a nice butterfly or hummingbird plant. Bob Wines has a huge selection, many sizes and colors, starting at just $7.99. How about this? A super buy on geraniums. You'd expect to pay $3.99 or more, but they're just 99 cents this week. Hurry, selections are limited, and remember you can always plant a tree for Mom's Day. Get a huge tree for as little as $39.99 and get a second one for half price. Come see us this week at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. Daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3, celebrating 70 years in the same blooming location.
Bumpin' Brave and Bold, the Orlando International Fringe Theater Festival is back May 17th through the 30th with over 200 shows. This unique cultural experience is held at Lock Haven Park. 2022 brings new and exciting features to the Orlando Fringe. You don't want to miss out. Tickets are available at orlandofringe.org. Again, May 17th through the 30th is the 31st Orlando Fringe, and it's sure to be the best yet. Get your tickets at orlandofringe.org.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Got Chief Balkin on for about another 5-6 minutes. He's taking up some time that should be just Ship's time, but I think I know her pretty well, so she's probably okay.
She'll be all right with that.
She'll be okay. All right, I said the pink elephant in the room, and during the break you were like, okay, that could be a myriad of things.
Yeah, you scare me when you say stuff like that.
But I'm talking about the recent movement and seismic movement. And I didn't think it would happen here in Florida, but it looks like it's going to happen now. And it's the open, I know it's not called the open carry law, but that's what it is.
Right.
It gives people the right to carry a gun without having to get a concealed carry permit and stuff along those lines. And, there's some people that don't even want the guns to be registered. They want it to go that far. The late Chief Graham, we talked about this about 4 years ago. There was a push for this. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, the last election cycle. Imagine how it works right around the election cycle. But anyway, the late Chief Greg Graham, I asked him about this on Common Sense with Tom Schmitz, and he goes, Tom, it makes no common sense to have an open carry. And I asked him, I go, Chief, that doesn't sound very Second Amendment-like. He goes, this has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. They can say it does, but as a police officer, I don't want anybody to know I have a gun. If I was a private citizen, I wouldn't want anybody, a bad guy, to know I have a gun, because the bad guy will walk into a place to rob a place, and he looks and sees a gun on your hip. You're the first person he's shooting.
Right.
I thought there was a lot of sense in that. Now we're pushing back towards the open carry again. And look, I'm a Second Amendment guy. I think everybody has the right to own a gun. I don't own a gun because I would shoot somebody, so it's just best. Well, that and being a felon, that's against the law too. But I respect everybody's right to own a gun. But to me, this open carry law just sets you up, if you're a person open carrying, for a bad guy to pick out, to neutralize before they ever when they go in to rob places. And I'm taken back to the video game robbery of the video game store, the gambling video game store, 6 years ago, 5 years ago?
5, 6 years
where
ago.
the youths went in with their guns out, and everybody don't move, and everybody, and then the older gentleman was sitting over in the corner playing his game, never even stopped playing his game till their attention wasn't on him. Then he calmly stood up, told them, drop your weapons. They didn't. He started shooting them, and he thwarted that robbery and saved a lot of people's lives. If he'd had that gun where they could have seen it, they'd have shot him as soon as they walked in.
Yeah, I can't disagree with Greg's stance on that. It is common sense that if I'm going to carry, and I'm a big Second Amendment supporter, I don't want you knowing I've got that gun on me. And two, it just makes common sense not to have that open carry. If I'm carrying, I'd never do it openly, and I always carry. So, but there's more issues at play here. I talk to chiefs from around the state of Florida, around the country, but certainly the state. I sit on the legislative committee for the Florida Police Chiefs Association, and we'll meet at the summer conference to discuss things like this. But, when you're talking to a chief, say from South Beach, and he's having issues with folks walking onto a beach with an AR, an assault rifle, an assault-style rifle, in a location where he's got a lot of Europeans out there on the beach, and people go running and screaming, thinking there's about to be an active shooter. So I think there's a fear issue.
That's like walking into a theater and yelling fire.
Yeah, I'm a big sporter. My son and I, we do a lot of hunting, and so we own a lot of web firearms, and we use them responsibly. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of ever carrying openly myself, and I think there's not a whole lot of common sense in doing that.
Usually just people who are trying to show you how Billy Badass they are, they're the ones that are going to open carry. Most people, even if you had an open carry law, most smart people are still going to conceal their weapon.
I think the smart ones will. I agree. I think some folks use that as a way just to
look how tough I am.
Send a message. Right.
Let's take a call real quick. You're on with Chief Balkin.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Tom. It's Natalie. How are you?
Good. You're on with Chief Balkin.
So, I may be wrong, but I thought it was my understanding that the difference between constitutional carry and open carry was that constitutional carry, you can conceal a weapon without a concealed weapons permit, whereas open carry, you have to be able to see the weapon on you. Is that correct?
Go ahead, Tom. I think she's right, but I think the drive behind the eventual drive here is for open carry,
right,
without a permit, and so maybe we're talking about two different issues here. But I don't necessarily have an issue with anyone carrying a concealed firearm lawfully, permit or not.
Right.
That's really not an issue that bothers us as law enforcement officers, because quite frankly we assume everybody's armed anyway. The fact that you have a permit to carry, it doesn't matter. That's really not an issue for us. So if that's the legislation that the governor's pushing, then by all means that's not an issue for us. But to your point about an open carry, and
that's the ultimate goal, I think.
Well,
is
that's
open carry without a permit.
And again, not from a legal perspective, just from a common sense perspective, as you said, I don't necessarily think that accomplishes the goal of what the person carrying is really trying to accomplish.
No, thanks for the call, Natalie, and make sure you're here at 11 o'clock. That's intern Natalie.
Oh,
she's
great,
our new intern. She works Tuesdays through Thursdays. But
Nice.
She's got a sales meeting. She's got to be at 11 o'clock
Okay.
today. So, well, I just wanted to see where your stance was, because I know you're a big Second Amendment guy.
Sure. Yeah.
You believe that it's a person's right to own a gun if they to legally own a gun.
Right.
It's not a person's right to own a gun. It's a person's right to legally own a gun.
And I think the more law-abiding citizens that carry, ideally concealed, the less times I'm going to be called. Right, but because they're not going to be victimized. But I do think she's right. There's two different issues that we're talking about. But again, I think you'll find most law enforcement officers are going to say, I don't care if you go with a permitless program or not. It doesn't matter, because we're going to assume you're armed anyway every time we come into contact with the permit isn't the issue, and the open carry, quite frankly, for us. Isn't the issue, although that does generate, we've got
sometimes it's a wasted police call.
Well, and that's what I was getting to. We've been to those calls where, somebody's using the recent changes to the gun laws where you can carry openly if you're heading to go fishing or go hunting, and, they end up, these folks are in downtown Ocala, outside of right next to where elementary school kids are reading in a park. That's going to generate some police calls, whether you're legal or not. That's going to generate police calls from concerned citizens, and we've seen that. We've responded to those, and it's challenging for a police officer to know what's really in that person's mind.
Yesterday, I was going out of town to play golf, and I stopped at a gas station to get gas, and it was outside of Marion County. I stopped to get. There was a guy with his boat and his truck, and he was standing there gassing up his boat, and he had a sidearm on him, clearly for everybody to see. And he was gassing up his boat. I guess he was on his way to go fishing or something, which by the new law is completely legal for him to do.
It is.
And I thought, well, that's strange. And then I remembered that as long as he's going boating or hunting or something,
right. To the gun range,
right,
boating, fishing.
But it was kind of strange.
Yeah, but I get it. Look, it's a hot topic, and again, I think most police officers, me included, that you talk to, you're going to find that big supporters of the Second Amendment. We agree with that. Lawful carry.
Last thing, I don't know if you saw this yet or not, but one of your colleagues made the news again for being the guy he is, and he's very funny at times. And I'm talking about the Polk County Sheriff, Grady Judd. One of his officers, one of his auxiliary officers, is reserve. Have you heard this story?
Yes, sir.
His reserve officers was selling drugs out of his patrol car, selling prescription drugs out of his patrol car, and Grady, true to his form, arrested the guy. The guy's going to face felony charges.
Sure.
But the way he did it, when they asked him, "Are you upset about this?" the sheriff responded, "I'm hot as a bear's butt on a hot tin roof.
Yeah, that it's unfortunate. Anytime we hear about a cop, tarnishing his badge, doing something stupid, we rely on them to uphold the law. We're held to a higher standard, and we expect our deputies, our police officers,
selling
to understand
prescription
that.
drugs out of his patrol car.
I can't even imagine. I just can't. You're sworn. You've sworn an oath to uphold the law, and think about that with the opioid epidemic that's going on right now, and you've got a cop participating in that kind of activity is maddening. I completely understand the sheriff and his comments.
Yeah. Well, also you need to know your playing field.
Yeah.
You're in Polk County doing that. You need to know that's not going to end well for you.
And the minute you do
any jurisdiction really, but in Polk County, not only is it not going to end well, but Grady's going to embarrass you on TV about it.
Right, and I'm sure he's that deputy's going to spend a long time behind bars.
Oh yeah,
because he is held to a higher standard.
Chief Balkin, thanks for coming in every Monday, every first Monday like you do. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here.
We'll be right back after this timeout on Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Blockers Furniture is having a truckload sale. Right now, you can save 20% on sofas and love seats when you mention radio. Blockers' 80,000 square foot showroom is home to the largest in-stock selection of living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, unique furniture accents, outdoor furniture, and more. That means you can take your furniture home that same day or have it delivered. Check out the Blockers Sleep Gallery, too. They carry a huge selection of mattresses, including all the name brands you love. Blockers Furniture truckload sale. 2402 Southwest College Road, Ocala, next to Hobby Lobby. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
The Golden Spoon Diner and Seafood Restaurant, a true New York-style diner in Ocala. Try our breakfast special of 2 eggs served with home fries or hash browns and toast for just $4.49. We have an all-you-can-eat catfish special daily for $14.99, and Thursday through Sunday we have prime rib. Happy hour for food starts at 2 p.m. The Golden Spoon Diner and Seafood Restaurant is located at 5400 Southwest College Road in the Heathbrook Commons Plaza. Open daily from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. We will see you soon. Are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? Listen carefully, because now there are new treatments available here. Not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative treatments from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics, now with offices in Ocala and the Villages. Hey everybody, this is Tom Schmitz. QC Kinetics is the leader in these exciting biological therapies that help restore and repair damaged tissues in your joints with lasting results. If you got pain in your knees, your shoulders, hips, back like I do, joint pain that won't go away, you need to check out these new treatments with astonishing patient satisfaction reports. They can actually help your body restore and repair itself with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. That's right, no surgery. Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain, and don't let them put you under the knife. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. There's offices in Ocala and the Villages, so give them a call, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. Hey, do you know there's a real Italian bakery right here in Ocala? Yeah, it's the Magnolia Italian Bakery, where you get the best Italian specialties. Remember, Mother's Day is this Sunday, so call and order now. Italian and New York cheesecakes, fresh-made cannolis, cream puffs, eclair, and even custom cakes. We cater big and small events. Get your lunch or dinner, Italian subs, eggplant parm, lasagna, meatball and sausage subs. They're all made fresh just for you. Call ahead, 352-207-2667. Manja and God bless.
Hey there, Congresswoman Kat Kamak here, your conservative voice in our nation's capital. I'm so proud to be an advocate for the over 65,000 veterans here in North Central Florida. The new Ocala VA clinic is now open, providing important primary care and specialty services. If you're a veteran in the Ocala area, thank you for your service. Feel free to get in touch with our team by visiting us online at camac.house.gov. I'm Kat Kamak, and it is my honor to serve you.
This ad is paid for by official funds authorized by the U.S. House of Representatives.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Monday, you know, over the weekend, talked with Galen about what things we had done. We also went to a car show out at Warhorse Harley that benefited the Boys and Girls Club. It was a car show, motorcycle show, had some music. They were doing a auction. Police chief for the day was auctioned off and everything. Then the OPD had a family day at the Kroski Center. That we drove by. We're going to stop by there. It's so busy, man. That was a great turnout there. I talked to the chief about it. He said they said 400 children showed up for OPD family day out at the Kroski Center. So it was a good time too. But really, you know, Paris Tanner and his group, they did a great job helping the Boys and Girls Club. Everybody that was involved with that. Daniel Gray was part of that. Everybody who was involved with that did a great job over the weekend at Warhorse Harley to benefit the Boys and Girls Club. We had them on last Monday talking about that event. It was really, really a well-done event and a fun time. Good morning. You're on Ocala Talks.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Hugh.
Yeah, Saturday I got over to the Boys and Girls at the Harley. I had a real good, wonderful time. My neighbor had his, I think it's a 62 Plymouth on display there, and had a great time. It was a great event. And I stood there and watched that axe throwing.
Yeah.
And I was going to volunteer, but I thought, I'll probably kill somebody. So I said, forget it. But it was fun watching that.
Yeah, I enjoy the axe throwing. I've been to friends of ours, dear friends of ours, own axe throwing place in Gainesville. And we've been over there throwing axes and everything. And it's a fun time. But like you said, it can be dangerous. So
I know if I had to throw that axe, it went right over the top and probably landed in the field or something, you know.
But there was, you know, you walked up in that back parking lot up above, you know, first off, if you've never been to Warhorse Harley, you don't realize how big the place is.
I couldn't believe it. This is the first time. I wasn't even sure where it was because I asked you how to get there on Friday, but I couldn't believe the size of the place and all the motorcycles. What a gigantic business there.
Yeah. And then you went up to the back lot, and that's where all the hot rods and the low rider trucks and the muscle cars were and everything. And there were some really unique vehicles back there.
There sure was, yeah. Those car shows are in Ocala here or Marion County are just they're a must see because each one is very exciting to go to and then just to enjoy looking at all the beautiful machinery that was built years ago.
One of my favorite ones, Hugh, was all the way at the very end of the line, all the way at the farthest reaches of the parking lot, the 1970 Plymouth Duster.
Is that the one that had the music on?
No, it was right across from the one that had the music on. It was an orange Plymouth Duster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I remember my second car, the second car I ever had was a Plymouth Duster, but it was a 74.
Yeah.
But the floorboards were rotted out in it so bad, rusted out in it so bad, that we just put plywood down in the floorboard and used that as floorboards.
Well, I hope the Boys and Girls Club have some more car shows and things to attend in the near future because it's always a great privilege and an honor to go to their events and help them out.
They really do. We're going to actually, my wife and I, along with the Fort King Punishers Motorcycle Club, we're going to team up with the Boys and Girls Club this year. Last year we teamed up with Toys for Tots, the Marine Corps Toys for Tots. This year we're going to team up with the Boys and Girls Club to do a children's toy drive because the Boys and Girls Club does a toy drive as well. So we're going to team up with them this year and help them out with their toy drive. Because April Savarese and her staff at the Boys and Girls Clubs in Marion County do a fantastic job helping at need youth here in our county.
Yeah, at the event too, I had a chance to meet April.
Yeah,
and my wife, she's up in Wisconsin right now, and she says, when you go to that program, she runs the program, and say hello and say Linda says hello to her and tell her how things are going for her and everything else. So it was nice meeting her, and she's such a wonderful person.
She really is a great person, does a great job, and her staff are really great too. They're all committed to helping the boys and girls of Marion County succeed, and that's what it's all about.
It's very, very important thing she's involved with, and I'm just looking forward to future events that are going to be with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, Hugh, thanks for being a community a citizen of the community and coming out and supporting. Without people like you to come out and support these events, they wouldn't be a success. So thanks to you and everybody like you that comes out to these events.
Well, it's always a great time, and it's worth every second of it.
Well, and I hope you then got you some adult beverages once you got back home and from that heat. Go ahead and cool off a little bit.
Well, I was there late morning. It was very comfortable, but of course around the noon hour with my liver sausage sandwich, I got to have a Miller. So
So we must have just missed you because we got there. We were there about 10:30 to about 11:30.
Yeah, I was just a little bit later than that. Yeah,
we must have just missed you because we had a full day planned and everything. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe next time we'll run into each other. Have a quickie, huh?
All right. Thanks for the call.
Okay, take care, buddy.
Yeah, that was a really good time this weekend at the Boys and Girls Club event at Warhorse Harley. They, they had tents around, and you got to see everything from a Lamborghini to like 70 Plymouth Duster. There were lowrider trucks. There were 1932 Buick was there. 1934 Chevrolet was there. I call those Ridge Runner cars because that's what the Ridge Runners hauled moonshine in back in the day. And so it was just there was there was even a minivan that was tricked out. Yep, you heard that, a minivan that was tricked out at this car show. It's not very often you see a minivan at a car show, but you did at the car show this weekend that was held at Warhorse Harley to benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Marion County. It's well documented on the show that I have a very big spot in my heart for the Boys and Girls Clubs, and so anytime I can help April Savarese and her fantastic staff with any project that they're endeavoring to make a success, I always try to pony up and help the Boys and Girls Clubs of Marion County, and I suggest you do as well. Just a little bit goes a long way, and you can help by going to their website. You can go to their website and actually donate right on their website, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Marion County. So coming up next, Hour number 3, we get into the news of the weekend, talking about there's a gun range in Lake County that it just, I don't get it. Maybe you can help me out. And if you're seeing a lot of alligators, well, there's a reason. We'll talk about those and other issues and take your phone calls, 622-9622, after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
Casting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala.